Good morning, friends. How are you? I hope you had a super great spring break. I hope you guys got to play outside and maybe go for walks or go on a hike. I did a few of those things myself. I got to go on a few walks because the weather was so nice. So today, I need you guys to help me. I am going to bake a pie. Have you guys ever helped your grown-up bake before? Give me a wave if you've ever baked before. Awesome! A lot of you. Well, then you guys will be pros. And I'm so glad you're here to help me. So I have a recipe, but it's really hard for you to see. So I made it a little bigger. So the ingredients that we need for our pie are 4 pieces of chocolate, 1.5 cups of sugar. That's a tricky one, that half. We'll talk about that later. 2 sticks of butter, 1 teaspoon of vanilla, and how many eggs? Can you tell me that number? 4 eggs. So let's see, I gotta make sure I got my ingredients. I've got my pieces of chocolate. Let's count them. 1, 2, 3, 4. And I have, my sugar. Do you think I need all this sugar in my pie? No. But I do need a little bit, so we'll get that in a minute. And then let's see. Oh, how many sticks of butter? Help me count. 1, 2. Great job. And then the last thing was 4 eggs. So help me make sure I have 4. Let's count them. 1, 2, 3. How many eggs did I have? 4. 4 eggs. So I think I'm ready to get started with my pie. So before I get to baking, the first thing I need to do is put on my apron. So I have a question for you. Why would Mrs. Vazquez wear an apron when she's baking? Do you guys know what an apron is? Let me show you. So silly of me. Oh, this is my apron. Look how beautiful it is. It even has a cow on the pocket. So answer that question again with your grown-up. Why would we need to wear an apron when we're baking? It's a piece of cloth that goes over my regular clothes, and I only wear it when I bake. Why would I wear one of these? So before I even start my pie, I need something really important. I need a pie crust. So I have a beautiful pie dish, and I am going to roll out my dough and put it in my pie dish, and I'll show you what it looks like. So my pie crust is ready. I'm gonna put it into the oven. It's super hot, so I need to be very careful. And then I close the door. I have a question for you. Do you guys remember how many chocolate pieces I had to put in my pie? Can't remember, we'll count together. 1, 2, 3, 4. So, you guys, is this a lot of chocolate or just a little bit of chocolate? What do you think? A lot or little? Let's wait. There you go. Did you see that fire come up? What do you think that fire is going to do to this chocolate? What will happen if I put this chocolate into that pot? Talk with your grown-ups for a minute and think. What will happen if I put this chocolate over the fire in this pot? You talk about it. Want to take a look? What happened to it? It melted. That hot fire melted my chocolate. Now my recipe says that it needs to cool. So it's really hot right now and it needs to cool. Do you guys know a place where I could put this chocolate if I wanted it to cool down and become cold? What do you think? You said the refrigerator. You got it. So I'm gonna put this in the fridge and then we'll do our next step. All right, so we got the 4 chocolates done. The next thing is 1.5 cups of sugar. Let's spell it U-G-A-R. Go work, you guys. So 1.5 cups. This is a strange looking number. Has anyone ever seen one before? If you've baked, you probably have, but this is a half. This means 1/2. It means I don't need the whole thing, I only need half. So if I had this Kit Kat bar and I was gonna eat the whole thing, but Mr. Vazquez came along and he said, can I have half? I would be a nice friend and share with him, so I would break it in half. And then he has 2 and I have 2. So that's what that tricky half means. So we need 1.5 cups of sugar. Now I've got my sugar right over here. But I don't want all of this sugar in my pie. I'm sure it would be delicious, but no one needs that much sugar. So I'm gonna take 1.5 cups. So this is 1 whole cup of sugar. So I'm gonna scoop it in, shake it a bit so I know it's nice and even, and I'm gonna dump it in to my mixer. And then comes the 1/2 cup. Now I don't need this whole cup again, I only need half, so I'm gonna get a smaller scoop. Can you guys tell me which one is bigger and which one is smaller? It's kind of hard to tell, so we'll turn them this way. Which one is bigger? Point to the bigger one. Nice, and point to the smaller one. Great, so I'll get my 1/2 cup of sugar. I know it's a 1/2 cup because it says it right here. Look at, there's that same silly number, 1/2. So I'll scoop that in, a little bit more. Great, and then let me check the recipe. Do you guys remember what comes next? 2 sticks of butter. Let's spell it. B-U-T-T-E-R. So I've got my 2 sticks of butter right here. Help me count them to make sure I got 2. 1, 2. And you know how I know this is butter? It says it right here on the package. B-U-T-T-E-R. Isn't that great? So I'm gonna put in my 2 sticks of butter. Okay, now that everything's in there, my next step is to turn on my mixer. My grandma was so nice. She didn't need her mixer anymore, so she said I could have it. Isn't she such a good sharer? All right, it's in place. I'm gonna turn it on and we'll watch and see what happens. Looks a lot different now that it's done. But guess what? My job isn't over because my recipe wants me to mix this mixture for 20 minutes. 20 minutes. 20 is a pretty big number. Do you guys think that you could count to 20? Why don't you guys go ahead, stop the video, take a moment to count to 20 and turn it back on when you're done. Did you do it? Did you get to 20? This is the number 20. 20. So I'm gonna be doing this for 20 minutes. And while I'm doing it, I'm going to be adding 1 egg every 5 minutes. So this would be a really long video if we watched for 20 minutes, but I'm gonna crack the first egg. I'm gonna turn my mixer back on. It's gonna be a long time. I need the most important part of my recipe, and that is the chocolate. So I'm going to add the chocolate. See if you can see it drip in there. Wait for it. There it goes. I gotta get all that delicious chocolate in there because it wouldn't be a very good French silk pie if there was no chocolate. Oh, it's getting kind of messy because I'm trying to show you guys. All right, I'll let you know when it's done. We'll watch it mix together. Look at that. I'm gonna let it mix, and then I'm gonna keep adding eggs, and I'll show you what it looks like when I'm done. My mix is about halfway done. So it's time to add my vanilla. What sound does vanilla start with? And what letter makes that sound? Do you know? It's the letter V. And guess what? That's my letter. That's V for Vazquez too. So my recipe calls for how many teaspoons of vanilla? 1. That's an easy one. So I need 1 teaspoon of vanilla. I'm gonna pour it in. I gotta be really careful so it doesn't spill. I don't need a lot, just a little bit. And then I'm gonna pour it right into my bowl. Alright, so my mixture is done and we're about to go take a look. But first I have a question for you. I want to see if you're paying attention. Do you guys notice anything different about Mrs. Vazquez? Do I look any different now than when the video started? If you guessed that I've got a new apron on, you're right. So now we're gonna take a look at the mixture and we're gonna see if there's a difference from when the mixture started to now. Are you ready? All right, let's take a look. Oh my goodness, look at that. Now, when the mixture started, how did it look? It was dark and lumpy. There were still bits of yellow in it, but now look at it. It's smooth and light. Good news, friends, I finally finished my pie. I'm ready to eat. Do you think I could eat this whole pie by myself? I think I want to, but I probably shouldn't. I should probably share with Mr. Vazquez and my friends and family. But this week, I want to challenge you guys to bake something in your kitchen. It doesn't have to be a big pie. It could be cookies. You could make some fun fruity popsicles. So ask your grown-ups, see if you guys can come up with a plan to bake something and share it with me. Share it with Miss Schwister and we'll put it up on our show and tell. All right, we'll see you later.